Good morning. So I'm on peg 20 on Horseshoe. For those who don't know, you can see peg 20 between my bait table legs. There's only 13 of us fishing, which is good because that means we've all got a bit more room and no real duffer pegs. So everyone should catch it. Undoubtedly, winter fishing is going to be tough in areas. And there's definitely quite a lot of fish still topping around sort of peg sort of five-ish, around that sort of area. That is definitely going to be the epicenter. The fish do give themselves away on this lake. So if you're pleasure fishing and you want to fish this lake, definitely be worth maybe spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you get all your kit out. Just maybe walk around the lake and stuff and see where the fish are. They do normally give themselves away topping and stuff. So unfortunately, seen no fish top. I'm not just saying that. Started at 14 meters, just dobbing a few maggots and just open to get response. Tapped a few maggots in and still ain't got a response. So put a few more barrels on. Did struggle massively holding this pole, to be honest with you. The wind and my shoulder was not ideal at all. I was worried I wouldn't catch, and then just as I began to think that, happy days, finally caught. So we're probably maybe 25 minutes into the match. Mike has decided to pay top two and then two sections, and obviously that'll be paid by default. So my section starts from to my right peg 18, and then we'll finish on peg 28. There's 6 in my section and 7 in the other. And to be honest with you, thinking maybe might only, if I'm really lucky, might win my section the way things are going. Like sometimes the fish do really top a lot around this side of the lake. Maybe not quite as much as pegs 3, 4 and 5, but there seems to sometimes when it goes really cold there's like 2 shoals of fish. So definitely got a chance, without a doubt. Peg 21's been a decent peg. 21, 20, 18. I had 18 the other week and won the section off it. So did fish hard that side of the lake though, in all fairness. And as you may know, this side of the lake fish really, really hard because I'm very slow getting the result out. So I do apologise. Normally I'm on it, but I've had a challenging week, shall we say, for those who know exactly what I'm on about. So the thing is, going back to fishing, sometimes when you fish like against the island, it can be a bit of a nightmare of foul looking. Sometimes I just think there's just such a big shoal of fish, it just literally just swim through, or they're swimming round, and unfortunately your float just gets dragged under. Even though it did look like a proper bite, but I ain't gonna lie, this fish is foul looked. Don't mess around with light gear. If you've watched any of my videos before, I'd say like on this lake, minimum hook length I'd fish on a pole would be 0.14, because you're looking to catch carp. You might catch skimmers and stuff. If it's really, really hard, then maybe I might drop down. But to be honest with you, I think you want to be fishing 0.14. I got a 2.3 hollow elastic to the Maver stuff, which is pretty decent. Like a lot of elastics, so I'm not saying Maver elastic's the best elastic ever. I'm not saying that, but it's decent. If it wasn't, I wouldn't use it. And then fishing 0.20 main line, so it gives me flexibility that I can go up. So if I need to go 0.16 or 0.18 up length, or even 0.20 to 0.20, I'm not frightened to do that anymore. I definitely would suggest fishing a main line with a hook length, because it just, like I say, gives you a lot more flexibility. Hey, if you're on a shed 4, you're not going to catch loads, then yeah, by all means fish 0.18 or 0.20 straight through. Happy days, but I think that might be a bit too much unless you really are on a absolute epicenter. When you're fishing really, really long poles, then it's very important to have a long line. I think, because there's no, as long as the rules allow, because there's venues I fish, you're only allowed to fish 1 meter of line between the pole tip and float. Whereas this venue, there's no restrictions on line between pole tip and float. So therefore, not frightened to literally fish maybe a 5-foot lash. I know it might look hideous, but trust me, when you're fishing above 16 meters, this is a long way as well. Therefore, you've got to fish a long line. It just helps, and it's really windy. So don't forget, I've got a crosswind here. Any bit of wind, it's going to obviously drag against your pole, and therefore it's just going to move your float. Don't matter how strong you are or how strong you think you are, you know, you can't push back against like a real long length of pole, otherwise you're just going to snap it, no matter what it is. Yeah, I've had fished loads of poles, real long lengths over the years, various different manufacturers, and what you would call it, you definitely can't fight it. Otherwise, it's just going to end in tears. And if you break a section when you're fishing 20 meters, then trust me, it's going to be an expensive section. And believe me, I got fatigue because it's so heavy and I'm not very strong. I chucked a lead a few times and you wouldn't believe it, not a bite. So, you know, this is definitely far superior presentation, without a doubt. And this fish is definitely giving me the runaround. So against the far bank, it's probably about maybe 20 inches deep. To be honest with you, it's pretty shallow, to be honest, this peg. And I think it's still reasonably mild, but trouble is the water will still be freezing. It'll take ages to warm up this water, so I still feel the fish really haven't moved a great deal. I know that might sound contradictory and they're swimming around the lake, but people are catching in open water on like pegs 3 and 5 and 7 at times. They're not. Sometimes I find that someone will catch a load of fish there, say on Saturday, then the next day they move. So you can't just go, oh yeah, I'm going to bag it out because you've drawn it. But like I say earlier in the video, if you listen to me rabbling on, these fish definitely do show themselves. So the wind, obviously not horrific by any means, but it's a bit too strong. I'm not sure exactly how windy it was. 15, 20 mile an hour winds, I would have thought. Odd little gust, but see, you can't lean against that or force it. Honestly, I was just going to end up breaking your pole, so you just let it go. Not ideal, but hey, just law of physics. The middle part of the match was really tough. Really struggled. So first 25 minutes, nothing. Then I had a run of fish. That probably lasted maybe an hour. And as you can see, it's taken me roughly about 5 minutes to get each fish in. And I had 54 pound, then maybe like an hour and 10 minutes, like an honest hour and 10 minutes, when fishing this long. And then honestly, the middle part of the match was just awful. Just couldn't get any bites or anything. Started having a little bit of a run again near the end, but it just didn't last. And the last half hour, unfortunately, it did fade away again for whatever reason. Couldn't catch down the edge. I did try down the edge, tapped in some maggots. Couldn't catch at 40.5 meters. I sporadically toss spotted it in. Also, I dumped some maggots down the peg 16 meters out the way. There's almost like a throwaway line. Open fish will go on it, but I feel they just swam round it. It was evident here where I am. All the fish just seem to be against the far bank. So that's something to bear in mind if you're fishing this week's Winter League. Not that probably anyone in the Winter League will watch this video, because they're all superb anglers. It was evident that he's just jumped out. It was evident a lot of the fish were against the far bank. So I think if you are struggling, then obviously if you're able to fish a long pole to reach it, then happy days. So pegs 28 can reach the far bank and peg 10 can reach the far bank. This one won't be in anyway. 21 you won't reach the far bank with the pole. So you'd have to fish a lead. So yeah, that's what I would be doing if I was fishing it, like a little maggot feeder lead or maybe even a little method, but I believe it's going cold. So I think maggots just tend to be a very good bait, to be honest. Maybe popped up bread. The lad that won it on peg 7 did catch on popped up bread fishing the lead to the island. So I've been told. One of my good mates on peg 9 was next to him, so he watched him all day. There was a few fish caught on peg 13. Well, peg 12 now, isn't it? They changed pegging. So peg 12 with the flower pot, he has caught down his edge, and he has caught feed it to the platform as well. So yeah, fishing both methods.
got the same. I had one skimmer since about 34 pounds. First fish in ages. This thing got out yet.
So in the end, I had quite a nice day. A little bit frustrating, didn't catch on my lead. I did have it filmed, but I didn't see the point of just you watching me fish a rod where it's just not going round.
Yeah, mate.
So yeah. So I had a little bit of a run, but last sort of 20 minutes was a bit disappointing. I didn't catch. The fish are a good stamp. Can't stress enough about having good, sort of reliable, strong tackle, because if you haven't, you're going to be in trouble. These fish will break you. They're fighting fit fish. They really are. And because the lake tends to be on a bit more on the shallower side, the fish can kite off quite quick. It did fish a little bit harder round our side of the lake. If you see the weights in a sec, you'll see, because obviously paper don't lie. But I had a nice day. If I'd have pushed it a bit more, should have really maybe won my section, but I didn't. So that's the end of that. To be fair, the other side of the lake fished absolutely fantastic. You see the weights. There's what three 100-pound plus weights, and then there's four 90-pound weights. I think I've come seventh, so I've come halfway in the match with 92 pound, which is phenomenal for winter fishing. Didn't feed very much. Maybe fed gosh, I don't know, 1/5 of a pint of maggots on that far bank. Just barely fed and next to nothing. Was able to catch dobbin to begin with, but yeah. Brian next to me had a couple of barbel and 6 carp. So he had quite a nice day. He was chuffed, but he's caught late on the lead down his edge.